What's going on, guys? We are here, the last official evening that we're both going to be together at Elk Camp 2025. It's been fun being up here in Idaho. It's the first time I've hunted Idaho for elk, and it's been interesting. I'll give a full recap. Hopefully, with the last little bit of time that I've got, I will still get a bull down. But as of right now, don't have it down. So we're going to talk about our experience, how Clint is just a straight killer, because it's been how many years now that you've killed a bull in a row?
Yeah, I think this has been 10 years in a row, man.
Yeah.
Been pretty damn fortunate, for sure.
And you've killed more than 10
yeah.
in that time frame, right?
Yeah, so there was one year where
That's when you know he's a real killer. Yeah. He doesn't even know how many. He just knows.
It's yeah. I try to remember all of these elk harvests, but yeah. So there was one year that I purchased a second elk tag and was fortunate enough to fill it. He was actually my biggest bull, that second tag. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, 11 total, man.
Man, that's crazy. So Clint is part of the 10% that always kills. It kills every year. I'm working on that. Right now I'm 50-50. The last 4 years that I had an elk tag, I've killed 2 bulls in 4 years. Hopefully I don't break that streak this year. But you know, if I do, it's fine. We've got a lot of learning experiences that have happened. But yeah, let's kind of recap. So we started back in August. Found out I got this tag in July, which huge shout out to Clint. You know, things are changing in Idaho now. Man, I gotta scoot back. This is getting hot.
Yeah.
Things are changing in Idaho now to where it's going to be, I don't know all the rules and regulations right now, but essentially it's going to be a draw. There's no more standing in line. Man, my shins, dude.
Yeah, burning, huh?
No more standing in line, because the way it used to be, either you get online and you're number 20,000 to get a tag, or you have to go find a gas station or store and stand in line. It got to the point where people were actually camping out at DNR offices. And so I think they finally realized, after their system continued to crash, they finally fixed that to where it's going to become a draw. So we'll see how that goes this year. But anyway, Clint has been asking me to hunt with him for it's been about 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He's graciously invited me up here to the spot where he's been so successful, between a couple of different spots in the zone. And I just never really I wanted to kill bulls in Utah. And I wanted to, I didn't know much about out-of-state hunting. Killed my first bull in Colorado. And then, of course, with Idaho, I didn't want to stand in line. I didn't want to do that craziness. And I didn't want to, there's people that would pay people to stand in line for them, which is insane in and of itself. And then I didn't want to ask a favor of anyone to do that for me. And so I just kind of put it on the back burner. But this year in this area, there happened to be a couple of tags that were turn back tags. So in July this year, Idaho, you know, provided the option for these turn back tags where people either couldn't hunt, didn't want the area, whatever. There were some leftovers, and you know, same thing. I told Clint, hey, I'll log on that morning. I can't drive 2 hours to Idaho, stand in line, you know, on a work day. I'm also the stay-at-home parent that works from home, so the kids, all of that stuff, I just couldn't give all that up to possibly get one of these couple tags. And the night before, Clint asked me to send him my QR code, which I was like, okay, awesome. I really appreciate that. I logged in, I think I was number 1200 or something in line.
Yeah.
And I sent him the screenshot. I'm like, I probably won't be hunting with you this year. And 5 minutes later, he sent me a text with a picture of my tags in his hand. So again, a huge shout out to Clint. I'm really grateful for you doing that. You know?
Oh man, for sure. I'm glad it worked out, dude.
Yeah. So let's talk about the beginning of it. So after that happened, we found out this was going to happen. Reveal sent out some cameras for us to be able to put up, because Utah is dumb and doesn't let us have cameras up after the end of July until the beginning of January. So I took all the cameras that I had and we put them up here in this area. And we got some good intel at the beginning, right? You showed me kind of this general area. And I mean, I think it was 2 hours after we put the cameras up, we had a bull
Yeah,
on camera. I was like, oh shoot, this is awesome.
He's like a bloodhound, man. He was
he
was on our scent.
He knew it. He knew it.
Yeah.
And it kind of continued where they were kind of forming habits. We had, you know, multiple cows, calves, had a bull that was kind of hanging out with them, even in velvet. So it was cool to watch that progression. I've actually never really been able to do that. I've never been huge into trail cams. And I mean, I don't know, what were you thinking? Is that kind of typical from what you've been seeing?
Yeah. So previous years, man, it seems like from mid-August to the end of August, you get a lot of action on the trail cameras. So it was kind of par for the course from my perspective. But back then, remember, we couldn't decide which area we wanted to hunt, because it's like, oh, we're getting a lot of action, good quality bulls here, not so much over here. But then things turned.
Yeah, for real. So, and the thing is too that, and again, me being new to trail cameras, you know, I obviously relied a lot on that information. It was cool. I personally love sharing that with my kids. There's even one from the Reveal camera, I think it's called the Ultra, where you can actually, if you've got cell phone service on it, you can actually live go into the camera and watch it. And so one evening we got pinged with a bull that was starting to wallow, and I saw it, and you know, it was like right that moment. So I opened up, you know, the trail cam app and went into the live and got to show my kids, and my son was like, oh, that's so cool. What's he doing? Why is he throwing mud around and stuff like that? And it was really cool to be able to watch that. So then we ended up deciding, and then they kind of disappeared for a little bit, stripped their velvet, it seems like. Came back, and they were still hanging out with the cows, which, you know, generally, if you're scouting for elk, scouting for bulls, you want to find where the cows are, from my understanding. Again, I'm no expert, guys. I'm not going to pretend. Obviously, he's killed a lot more than me. I trust experts out there as well that say this. You want to find the cows, because where the cows are, the bulls are going to move in to where the cows are. You don't want to necessarily scout the bulls where they are up in the high country, hanging out in bachelor groups, stuff like that, because they will move into where the cows are. So you kind of want to look for that. And that's kind of what we're noticing, you know. But then they almost disappeared for a little bit, and we decided to go to the other area that didn't have my cameras or cell phone service, but you had some intel over there. So we decided to go over there. We were just seeing bigger bulls.
Yeah, better quality of bulls, and I just from past years' experience, I just know there's more quantity of elk in that country too. So
yeah,
and in the beginning, where we're hunting now, like there wasn't really anything that was super appealing to me. So for early season, that's about the only time I go for big bulls.
yeah, exactly. And the so it opened August 30th was day one, and we were up in the area where we had decided to go, and we ran into some people. I had some fun experiences, which again I'll dive into a little bit more of, just people literally being underneath me while I'm up in the saddle, and they had no idea I was there. It was freaking hilarious. Guys, gals, while you're out there in the woods, look up. And also look for trail cameras, especially if you're going to go use the restroom or something, like, you know, kind of pay attention to that stuff. But anyway, so we ran into a lot of that. I almost fell out of the tree. Luckily I had my lineman's rope, so always be safe, guys. Wear a harness, something strapping you to the tree so you don't actually fall out of the tree. Anyway, first couple days, not seeing too much.
Just humans.
Yeah, a lot of people.
What I remember.
A lot of people, very quiet. I think we had some people say they saw cows. But, you know, over in that area, we were getting a lot of bulls, but not cows on camera.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the opposite, where they shifted, and it's almost like they went to go find the cows, and they were no longer hitting these water spots. And so, so we ended up, well, my crazy brain said, hey, when you get back to camp tonight, we're going to the other area, because we had some bulls showing up in this area where we're at now. I was like, we need to go over there now. They're in there hard right now. Clint, tell me how you honestly felt, because you seemed kind of like, oh, it's really late. We're not going to get there till like 1 a.m.
No, yeah. So it was midday. I pulled out from this area that I was hunting some beds, and when I came back to camp, I met with Jonathan. Jonathan dropped the bomb on me. He said, dude, there's a couple monster bulls that hit these cameras, and he showed them to me. I was like, oh, son of a... It's like, all right. In the area that they hit these cameras too, it's like, we can kill these elk. You know, if we can get there in a hurry, then in their bedroom we can get these bulls killed. So instantly I knew we needed to load up and go. It was just, we had different plans for the rest of the day. You know, I was planning on sitting in this wallow. You had different plans to sit in a different area. So it's like, when are we realistically going to be able to pack all of our stuff up and get over there? And for me, I'm a planner type. I'm not like a let's go now type of guy. So I'm like, okay, let's do a morning hunt tomorrow, and then we'll head over there, kind of get set up midday and be ready to rock and roll. But yeah, Jonathan over here.
I was like, nope. He was like, man, we're not going to get there till like 1 in the morning. I was like, it'd probably be more like 2, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then on the way out, so we did our evening, and the way we handle it, guys, is, and I recommend this too, sit until it's dark. If you're scared of the dark, which I don't think anyone should be afraid of saying that. If you're scared of the dark, especially if you're hunting by yourself, that's okay. I've been there. I'm sure you've been there. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're just badass. But
no.
you know, I've been there, and it sucks. It's not fun. Make sure you've got a headlamp and a backup headlamp. Make sure they're charged, and just get comfortable. I genuinely started making myself, you know, I ran tracks on Onyx, so I could, you know, stay. Generally, if it's a new area, I knew where I'd be going, especially if I'm not on a trail. And I make myself walk out as safely as possible. If I'm in deep timber or something like that, obviously there's not a lot of moonlight and stuff coming in, but I try and force myself to walk out as long as possible without a headlamp. Get used to hearing sounds, get used to, you know, running into spider webs, which always sucks, you know, things like that. You kind of get over your fear of the dark at that point. When you realize it's the same woods you walked in the light, it's no different. Yeah. But anyway, all of that's kind of a tangent. We hunt until dark, and then we get out of our stand or wherever we're at, and then we head back to our four-wheeler or the trail or the truck, whatever.
Even knowing that there's lions and bears, right? Literally.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Lions and tigers and bears, literally.
Yeah. We he's been up in a spot where, I mean, there's a big fat bear, there's a medium-sized bear, and then another, I'd say, medium-sized bear up there, and multiple cats that have shown up. When we say cats, mountain lions that have shown up on camera. Even to the point where tonight you were up there and it showed up an hour before you were about to get out of the stand, a couple 100 yards below him. You know, at this other water hole that we've got a camera on.
Trying to call him into me.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're trying to get him to come into you.
You can just feel your hair stand up on the back of your neck walking out of there at nighttime, knowing he's not far behind you.
Yeah, mountain lions are, and he's not a small cat.
No,
that one's a good sized cat. So anyway, we get here to camp at like 2 in the morning, and we set up, go to bed, and get a couple hours of sleep, and then we're back up at like 4:30 the next morning. Yeah. He hauls ass up to where he went, which takes a little bit further to go. I went down to a wallow that had been hit more than some of the other ones, and sat in a blind, and he went up to the spot, and sure enough, that morning, the bull that we called Kickstand was running through with the cows and a little spike by two. He was bugling, and Clint was in the right spot, and walk us through what happened.
Yeah, so basically, like Jonathan said, it was at first light, didn't have much sleep, got up in the stand where...
He's probably cursing me for making him come over here at 2 in the morning.
I was thankful that I was where I was when I was at that point in time, because it's like, hey, it's something cool is going to happen today, but... Anyways, get situated just before first light in the stand, and there's a wallow that I have my tree stand on. And typically, I set up there because I'm predicting that the bull's going to come in at some point in time and wallow. But anyways, it's also set up on the other side where there's a clearing there. And before first light, I could hear him sounding off. We haven't heard much talking throughout the entire season. Yeah. That was actually the first bugle I had heard that season. And he was up above me pushing his cows. I could hear the cows
Dan
chirping.
Call that bugle juice?
Yeah.
Got the bugle juice going. It's better than coffee, caffeine, or anything, right?
Yeah.
That gets you going.
Yeah. But yeah, he's up there doing his thing with his cows, and the wind is going down. So it's like, man, it couldn't be a more perfect scenario. And I'm not kidding. After that, it was like 10 minutes. It was right at first light, man. 10 minutes later, after I got situated, that bull was coming down, sounding off, pushed that spike by 2 in that perfect clearing. And I had a perfect broadside view of that spike by 2. Got a good range on him at 30 yards. And once that bull came in, he was basically standing in that exact same spot, man. And just drew back, and everything else was history. But it was just perfect. The sun was just barely starting to come up. His antlers were up I could just see the silhouette of his antlers, dude. You know where we were.
Oh, yeah.
He was just on that ridge, and it was just a perfect moment. So
yeah,
made a good shot on.
Yeah, he did. He made a really good shot with the Evolution hide, and sent that 2-inch mechanical right through him, right? And then what did he do after the first one? He kind of wheeled around and...
Yeah, so I shot that first one. It felt good. Felt like I held on him good. And he just like spun around and just stood there for like probably a second or two.
Probably thought another bull had poked him or something.
Yeah,
Like,
you could tell. He's like, what the hell, a bee sting me or what? Like he knew something was up. He just flipped 180 degrees, stood there for a second, and then trotted off like 10 yards. And in that amount of time, I'm just scrambling, getting another arrow loaded. And he went another I think it was exactly 10 yards actually. He just went 10 yards, kind of stood there, and I drew back, and I had my dialed archery sight set at 30 yards. So I knew he went a little bit further. So I was like, he was quartered away from me really hard, and I was like, I'm just going to put it on top of his spine and hopefully hit something. And I could see more ass than anything. I could see ass and antlers pretty much, but just kind of put it mid-body, let it rip, and it sounded good. And after that, man, I could tell he was hurting. Yeah. But he went over that ridge, so I didn't know how far he went. But I knew I got a second arrow in him, so I felt good about it. Yeah,
so in all the years that Clint has killed elk, he still hasn't figured out where to kill them.
Yeah.
Because it died in kind of a crappy, my feet, my toes were hurting from just standing on the incline and cleaning it. But no, all jokes aside, it was, he didn't go down into the real nasty stuff. He tumbled, less than 100 yards. It was...
Yeah, from where I shot him originally, it was less than 100 yards. So.
Yeah, so he got 2 pass-throughs with mechanicals, the mechanical versus fixed, whatever. That's another discussion for a different day. But the hide did its job twice, and both shots were really good. One of them was bubbling up, when we got there even. He texted me, and I'd had some does coming in, and then I was like, maybe something will come. Then I get the bull down. I'm like, oh, okay. So I packed my stuff up and hustled up there to make sure we got everything cleaned up, and that was September 1st. That was 27 days ago.
Dude, yeah, it feels like it was yesterday, but a lot's taken place since then.
A lot has happened and not happened since then.
Yeah, no kidding.
But no, that was awesome. So that was the bull kickstand. If I figure out how to edit that in here, I'll put a picture or a video of him. He was a cool bull. He was. I call him a 6x6. I think technically it was a 6x5 with a kicker, but that's 6 point in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're not Boone and Crockett measuring over here. So he was a good bull. He probably went over 300.
I bet around 300. I haven't taped him out, but I bet he's close to that.
Yeah, he's a solid bull. Had good mass. He wasn't some monster, but he was an amazing bull. He really was.
Super unique. He's missing his third on his one side, but he's got an extra up top. So
the little kicker.
Yeah, he's just cool looking.
Yeah. So that happened on September 1st. We got them all cleaned up. That same night, I went and sat a wallow, and not 10 minutes before the end of shooting light, I get pinged on my phone, and the biggest bull we've seen in here was one drainage away.
Yeah.
And I was cursing myself because I had to, you have to choose a different spot where you're going to pick, and you can get paralysis by analysis pretty easy doing that. And anyway, so that happened on the 1st. Went the rest of the week. Didn't really have a ton going on. He was, I was going after elk. You were looking for for deer
Yeah.
and the bear that was coming in.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of been like that pretty much all season. The rest of the season, you ended up killing a buck, your first spot and stalk mule deer, which is awesome.
That was cool, man. That was just last Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And then, it's just been a couple of different close encounters. And again, I won't go too much into detail on my stuff because I'll do that in a separate episode. But it's been fun. I've personally gone through ebbs and flows of my feelings about this season at this point. But, you know, honestly, in all reality, it's been really fun being up here. It's been really awesome being in this area. And like I said, I've still got a couple days left. I am personally jonesing to be home at this point. I do want to be with my family. You know, my kids want me home. My wife wants me home. But also, you know, huge shout out to her. She literally said, stay as long as you can, work-wise and everything. She said, don't worry about me and the kids. We've got this. Either kill a bull or go until the end of the season. So that, I mean, I can't. It's taken a couple years to get to that point. But, you know, I would say the key to that, you know, for people wondering how to not, and no, she doesn't have a sister that's available. I've had a couple people ask, you know, but she, you know, we worked through some things where she realizes that I come back a better person, even if I don't end up tagging out, or if I do end up tagging out, you know, I come back a better person from this, because this is what I really enjoy. There's a lot more hunting that we've got going on the rest of this year. You know, we're going out to Wisconsin for whitetail. I've got a mule deer tag with my son for archery. Both of us have that tag, and then I've got a doe pronghorn rifle tag, which I just got notification that rifle will be shipped Tuesday, which I'm super excited to have that and get that started. And then, you know, Texas whitetail, and I'm trying to think, is there anything else?
Antelope, you know, right?
Yeah, the antelope, yeah, here in October. Then we've got the whitetail, mule deer, and then whitetail again. So it's going to be a busy year. But no, this is kind of I'd call it the Super Bowl. I love elk hunting, man. It's just, there's just something about it. You know, the temperature's changing, the leaves are changing. I love aspen trees around this time. My wife is kind of cursing me, though, because we didn't do family pictures. And September, of course, is the best month to do family pictures. Yeah. And I hadn't killed a bull in time for us to do that. So anyway, I got to make that up to her. So.
Yeah. Gonna have to schedule a day, man.
Yeah. But no, this is a great little camp spot. There's a landowner that, I mean, this is all on public land where we're at, but there's a landowner close here that actually brought a nice table. He's chatted with me a couple times as I've been working here at camp. Starlink has been awesome.
Yeah,
that thing has been cool. Still figuring out keeping it charged and batteries and all of that stuff, but it's been working really well. Been able to work literally all week. I've been here all week. Haven't skipped a beat, you know, as far as work goes. Been able to go up and hunt in the morning and the evening. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what else do you think, other than it's weird that the bulls they're not bugling?
Yeah, it's just been a kind of an off season, man. It's, well, like I've shared with you years past, it's always kind of hit and miss at times here. Like when the elk are here and there's not a whole lot of hunting pressure, it's really good. But when they do get pressure and they get pushed around, there's just not a huge quantity of elk. So, and this year, man, once I killed, we caught wind that there's another guy in here that killed, and it just kind of seemed like it threw everything out of whack a little bit. But
yeah, but even then, the big bulls hadn't picked up the cows yet, which was weird.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. So this is the first year I've probably ever seen that, and we don't have the size of the herd as we've had in years past. Like what we've seen, maybe 6-8 cows max at the most. Yeah. But since I killed my bull, it seems like they've kind of split. Yeah. And now we've been getting pictures of maybe 3 or 4.
I mean, I had one come in at 10 yards solo.
Yeah.
No bull.
Yeah, no bull
She was asking for an arrow multiple times, stopped broadside, well within my shooting distance, and you know,
yeah, it's been weird, just not talking, not bugling. So it's
but we've talked to multiple people that have gone to different areas, and it's almost like there was an earlier rut, like they went crazy that first week, and then it's kind of shut down. And I wonder if they're going to pick back up in October.
Yeah.
You know, if something like that'll happen. Obviously, we haven't talked to many people, you know, in other, like the other extreme of Idaho. But where we're at, kind of in this general area in multiple different zones, people that we've run into and talked to just not hearing much.
Yeah.
Bulls are coming in silent, and you know, for me, I'm like, that just sounds like Utah.
Yeah.
You know, like it really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been fun sharing this camp with you. I'm really excited to go to Wisconsin at the end of next month. I mean, it's less than a month away.
Yeah, dude, it's right around the corner.
Sure, you're ready for a 20-hour drive with me?
Yeah, that'll be interesting all on its own, man. It'll be good.
I'll shower and wear deodorant before we go.
Oh, shit.
On the way home, I can't guarantee what the smells are going to be like after dehydrated food for a week and not showering for a week.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sweet, man. Anything else you want to share, talk about? I mean,
No,
I can't believe September's almost gone.
Dude, it's crazy, man. It's been fun watching you put in the work, man. It's you've been grinding, you've been trying, you've learned a lot, dude, in a short amount of time. So, and you've been trying to venture off to some new country, and so it's been cool, man. It's not too late. I'm hoping the next couple of days something comes together for you.
Every day you got to wake up and say, today's the day.
Yeah.
And I will end the day today saying today was not the day, but tomorrow will be the day. But no, you know, I've seen just about every animal but a bull in person.
Yeah.
You know,
you definitely need a deer tag, dude. You've had plenty
of
opportunities on deer.
Yes. Yes, and then I'm going to go back to Utah with my deer tag and not see a thing.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I'll find all the elk. That's what
yeah, no kidding.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully we can make this more frequent. We'll see what the Idaho draw ends up doing, but
yeah,
I haven't even really looked into that. I think they're still starting it in December, but
yeah, I didn't even know they were going to a random draw until you kind of filled me in on that. So that's news to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's a wrap. 2025 Elk Camp Idaho. Hopefully we make this a more frequent thing. We'll see. I would invite you to Utah, but it's not. Yeah.
Never know, man. Things might open.
When I draw a limited entry, I'll invite you down. Then you can have an experience.
Heck yeah. That'd be cool, man.
Or even if, I mean, obviously you've got this so close to you, but when I went down with my son for beaver, that was an experience, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, it looked like you guys seen some huge bulls.
For cows and spikes, but I don't think a cow spike hunt for you. Now for Eastern, Midwestern, Eastern guys, if you want to go out to Utah and have the elk experience and you're willing to pay, I think they just upped the pricing. It used to be one of the least expensive tags for elk for out-of-staters. I think now it's up there with Idaho as far as pricing goes. But you can take your tag and go do a cow spike hunt in a limited entry unit up until the end of that first week of September generally. Obviously, depending on when you watch this, check your regulations. I'm not a doctor or an expert in the DNR. You know, don't say Jonathan said go do this. But that cow spike hunt is awesome. I took my 10-year-old boy up there and just bulls bugling day and night in your face within 100 yards. Seeing them in the scope, like just, it's awesome. So that would be a good experience for any out-of-stater. But anyway, there we go. Idaho 2025 elk camp.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like I always say, guys, get out, live your life, and love it.